Listen, we're going to have more in just a moment. You'll hear from our ringside team. They called the fight. They'll review the entire night of action from here in Las Vegas. Mayweather versus McGregor has been brought to you by Corona Extra. Corona invites you to find your beach. By Body Armor. Ditch artificial sports drinks and make the switch to Body Armor Sports Drink. And by Showtime Pay-Per-View. Let's recap our night of boxing. We started with cruiserweight. Andrew Tabiti taking on Steve Cunningham. Tabiti unbeaten. Just too young, too fast. Number of combinations hits Cunningham, and he walks away with a unanimous decision. He remains unbeaten. With WBA light heavyweight title fight, Nathan Cleveland, the champion, taking on Badu Jack, who moved up in weight. Ooh, Badu Jack. Body shots, hurting in the 4th round, and then in the 5th round is where he poured it on. Badu Jack, stepping up in weight, gets the 5th round stoppage. He is now the WBA light heavyweight champion. For the vacant IBF Junior lightweight title fight, Gervonta Davis didn't make weight, so he got stripped of the title. Francisco Fonseca could have won it, but this one was somewhat controversial in the 8th round. It was a good shot by Davis, but then it was that shot in the back of the head. Controversial there. Fonseca says that's what hurt him. Davis says it was a shot before that hurt him. Nonetheless, Gervonta Davis walks away with a victory and a stoppage in the 8th round. In our main event, it was what a number of people wanted to see. Super welterweight special attraction. Floyd Mayweather looking to go 50-0 against Conor McGregor, making his professional boxing debut. First 3 rounds, all Conor McGregor, but then Floyd.
Slayer. First strike, gained the lead. Lost the lead, tied the leader, Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Gained the lead. Killing spree. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Gained the lead. Lost the lead. Killjoy. Minutes remaining. Revenge. Killjoy. 1 minute remaining. Seconds remaining. Killjoy. 10 seconds remaining.
The fight was a joke. Did it look like a joke? Conor McGregor fought. I don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, he fought. He did a better job than Manny Pacquiao.
In a quarter of a mile onto South River Road. Now turn left.
Pacquiao was hurt. His feelings was hurt. His pride was hurt. Because he realized, I cannot beat Thai, but I can't beat him in the ring. He had an excuse for every loss he had. Every loss Pacquiao had, he had an excuse. From the Marquez loss, all of his losses, he got an excuse. If I have my Clinton,
500 feet
if I have my Clinton Reyes gloves.
Now turn right.
If I had Clinton Reyes gloves, then I think I could possibly win the fight if I have my gloves. I don't have my gloves. He lose to Bradley, and then, oh no, I win this fight. I don't lose. I don't know why they do this to me. He got knocked out cold by Marquez. Knocked out cold. Next thing you know, I think he might need to be tested for performance-enhancing drugs. I think we need to test it. I think Marquez is on steroids. Then he loses to Floyd Mayweather. Order my shoulder, my shoulder, my shoulder. Even though he raising his hands with no problem. Nobody ever massaged his shoulder the entire fight. No problems with his shoulder whatsoever. But after the fight, order my shoulder, my shoulder. I can't raise my arm, my little shoulder. Stop lying. You got your butt whooped. Because you realize, man, Floyd Mayweather is tougher than I thought. And what happened tonight? Conor McGregor is going to use an excuse. The referee should have let him continue. And then, yeah, that's for you stupid MMA fans. So y'all could buy it and eat it up. Did Conor McGregor look like he could continue? He couldn't even continue to walk to his corner. It's the referee's job to protect him. Floyd Mayweather, you're not even throwing a punch at Floyd Mayweather. You want Floyd to take open shots at you continuously? He's breaking you down. Floyd hit that boy so hard with a right hand. I swear I thought I saw some gold coins fly out his mouth. He hit him in the stomach. Ooh, he finna crap some Lucky Charms. That boy gonna be crapping Lucky Charms. Oh, so that victory party they got for him in Vegas, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be celebrating a victory tonight. You could go to the real victory party, which is the Mayweather party. So that's just a party that Conor McGregor is gonna attend with his family. But he did good. He got $100 million to show up to help Floyd make $300 million. Thank you, Conor McGregor. Like he said, I got the right dance partner. And we gonna dance all the way to the bank. Of course they're crying, because they thought he was gonna knock it. They thought the upset was gonna happen. They thought that 6-1 was gonna pay off. I said this fight would end in a knockout.
Prepare to turn left.
We bet a knockout. We won a knockout. Very satisfied with the decision. I mean, with the knockout. I would have preferred Floyd put him on the campus.
500 feet at the end of the road onto North Darrell Road.
Floyd was getting ready to put him out. But Floyd went to him man to man, chest to chest, and said, put me down, Conor McGregor. He was right in Conor's face saying, knock me out. You didn't have to search to find Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather wasn't trying to outslick you and win rounds. He said, no, I'm going to stop you. Like he said, it won't go to the cards. This will not go to the cards. Somebody's getting knocked out. So all you Conor McGregor fans, like he said, he's like, I turned him into a Mexican tonight. He stood in front of Conor McGregor, and Conor ran. Now, what do you got to say about that? He made Conor run all night long.
Please turn right.
Conor McGregor was doing the running man. That man was doing back. That man did a whole marathon running backwards, running circles around the ring. We tried to warn you. We tried to tell you. We told you, Floyd Mayweather is a lot better than you think. You think he just talk it? He don't talk it. He backs it up. Now they talking about Floyd looked scared when McGregor was all in his face. All that. Ah! Ah! That Floyd's like this. We've seen it all before. That stuff don't win fights. All you doing is getting yourself tired and worked up. We know you don't know how to breathe in the ring. When the pressure is on, boxing is mental. When you get in front of Conor McGregor, he panics. Nate Diaz showed you that. He couldn't deal with the pressure of Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is slower than Floyd Mayweather, and he's sloppier than Floyd Mayweather, and he just stayed in front of Conor, and Conor was throwing all his shots, and Nate wasn't going nowhere. He started getting tired, and he got scared, and he started running. He ran from Nate Diaz. You can't get away from Floyd Mayweather. There was no tapping out tonight, Conor. You couldn't tap on the mat to get you out of this butt whooping. And the guy with the little hands
in a quarter of a mile
was really putting it on you. He was really putting it on you. You know that, Conor. So you can come up with any little pretty story come to your head. As long as at the end of that story, you know one thing else. Now, you better not ever try to fight Floyd Mayweather again. But let's give Conor credit. The man did better than a lot of people thought. This was his first professional fight. And he did a lot better than people thought he was going to do. He did. He surprised a lot of people early on in the fight. And the thing that he probably surprised Floyd with early on was how well he was able to counter. He was able to counter early. Like his step back, his athleticism. And this is what I was telling people about before with Conor McGregor. His athleticism and him being young. He's not a stiff white guy. He's very athletic on his feet. He can move. So him moving from angle to angle early, it kind of threw Floyd off. Floyd had to get some rounds in so that he can get there because Conor was pacing himself. he didn't want to shoot his entire load in the first couple of rounds. But Floyd wanted him to, but he was pacing himself. But the mental pressure of being in front of Floyd Mayweather and you wanting to punch because he's there, and you're not ready to punch, you're ready to rest. This is one of the things you have to learn in boxing, and that's the composure part, and that comes with experience. That's why you have amateur boxing, so you can learn these things, how to remain poised, because you'll be so excited and got so much nervous energy and you're fighting, you'll get winded quicker. See, had he had an amateur career, he would have known how to pace himself and dealt with that pressure of Floyd being there. He'd been used to that. But the Nate Diaz fight dictated and showed you that this is what would happen. Now he's going to go back to the UFC. And you know what's going to happen? He's going to fight Khabib. And Khabib's going to beat his ass. He's going to go to Russia. He's going to fight Khabib. And he's going to go back to the UFC thinking he's big time. And if he fight Khabib in December in Russia, Khabib will beat his ass. And I'm telling you right now, get your money ready. Get your money, because it's going to happen. Khabib, you've been running. Conor McGregor been running from Khabib, and that's why he went to the Mayweather fight, because he knew if he fought Khabib, he was getting his butt whooped. He wanted Ferguson and Khabib to fight each other, because he didn't want to fight neither one of them, Tony Ferguson or Khabib. Now talk about that, UFC fans. If he's such the man, let's see it. Now you going back to the UFC. Don't go back fighting another Alvarez, another easy tune-up with Alvarez. Go fight the killers.
Now turn right.
Go fight Woodley. Go fight Khabib. Go fight Ferguson. Show me you the real man at the UFC. And that you not some paper champion that they created. I bet you Khabib be ready by December the 2nd. I bet you he be ready by December 2nd. Will Conor McGregor? He don't want that fight. He don't want to fight Ferguson. He don't want it with nobody that he's afraid will beat him. You think he beats Woodley? You want to go blow to blow with Woodley? Let's see it. Come on, Conor, you the big man. Let's see you knock out Woodley. Tyron Woodley. You talk about you take all the challenges. You just fought a 147-pound guy and he beat you across the ring. Let's see you fight somebody your own size and see what happens. Since you the man. That Russian Khabib has got something waiting for you. And you know it. That's why you're afraid to fight him. But the UFC gonna make you fight him. For you going over there to boxing and making them look stupid. You made the UFC look stupid. And they finna punish you for it. Yeah, they finna put you right in there with Khabib. In Russia. Now let's see if you're the notorious. I told you, I knew what was gonna happen. Dana White stopped that fight. Dana White was, stop the fight! Stop the fight! Dana White was gonna stop the fight. I told you in my prediction video, Dana White will stop that thing in the corner. I thought he'll wave it off, like, don't let him go back out. Because if he'd have went back to the corner, they'd have stopped it in the corner. There was no way. Dana wanted that fight to stop. Of course he got tired. You know why he got tired? Do you know why he got tired? How many of y'all know why he got tired? Cancel root guidance. Yes. Body punches and mental fatigue. Yes.
Root guidance.
Mental pressure. Floyd being in his face all that time and he couldn't do anything about it. It's not about hard. You got to know how to breathe. Sometimes you can't deal with somebody being right in front of you. It's mental fatigue. That's why every time a boxer be in front of somebody, they don't have to throw punches. They're waiting for the right opportunity to throw punches. But if you're not experienced enough, you're so panicking thinking about the incoming, you got nervous energy because you're not knowing what's going to happen right now. So you punch because they right in front of you. You're just throwing punches and throwing your shots and you're not prepared. And after you finish your punches, they're still in front of you. And you're like, wait a minute, I don't even want you here right now. I want to get some space so I can breathe. And how many times did he do that in the fight? He'll throw his little shots and then these little pick-pack shots and Floyd want him to throw those. So he can land something with some meaning on it. And then them body shots, pop, pop, pow. When he was hitting him with them straight rights to the body, Conor wasn't moving as much as he was. He wasn't doing all that switching. And then he got caught switching. Floyd popped him with a right hand. As soon as he tried to do that little quick leg switch back, pow, woo. Then he realized, okay, this guy can hit. He didn't run out of gas. He was beaten out of gas. Them body shots, the mental fatigue. No, he doesn't know what he's doing. If you watch the workout, the bag was beating him up when he had the media day. He didn't know how to pace himself in his own workout. He was gassed. So everybody knew what was going to happen to him. He's athletic, he's young. Floyd was going to let him wear himself out and then bring it to him. And that's what he did. He waited for him to gas himself out and he brought it to him. The only people who didn't expect this outcome was UFC fans. Because they don't know any better. If they knew any better, they'd have been like, there's no way. He was moonwalking all night. He was doing his little flickering jab. He promised everybody, I'm going to come to the front of the ring and I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to be right in front of his face. He's a little man. He's in trouble. Look at him. He's out of shape. I've never seen him look so out of shape. Oh, I'm going to crush him. He doesn't. Everybody's like, that's a legal body punch. I'm like, it could have been a low blow. I mean, Bird didn't do his job tonight. I don't know what he. Could have been a low blow. I mean, Bird didn't do his job tonight. I don't know what he was thinking.
1 minute remaining. Seconds remaining. Ten seconds remaining.
Oh, they just wanted to knock off all the people I had online. I had a lot of people on there. We were like 15,000, 18,000. We had so many people online, they wanted to knock us all off.
Him get knocked down. So, Britton, in your opinion, very first, why not let him get knocked down?
And this is to Brian. Brian asked this question.
Yes.
Brian, he wasn't allowed to, I guess, stumble and hit the canvas for a myriad of reasons, which I've touched on, and I will again touch on. One, he's never fought in a professional boxing match before, so there was always going to be that high level of attention paid to him. Once we knew he got the adrenaline dump and his energy started to go down. That's one. Number two, when you're fighting in 4-ounce gloves, it's more apparent the damage that you're taking because you likely fall on the ground and your body does go limp. In 8-ounce gloves, you can sustain injuries that you don't know that you're sustaining until after the fight, sometimes days later. There was a fight where Timothy Bradley, if you'll recall, Brian, if you're a boxing aficionado like myself, Timothy Bradley fought against Ruslan Provodnikov, and he said weeks later his voice and his speech was slurring. Weeks later he had gaps in his memory. Weeks later, you know, the swelling still hadn't come down out of his face. They fought in 8-ounce gloves, so it's not always apparent. You always want to stop the fight a punch sooner than a punch later. Conor McGregor admitted to the referee. He said, listen, when he stopped the fight, Conor McGregor didn't argue. Conor McGregor didn't say, what are you doing? I can keep going. Conor McGregor said, I was tired. I was fatigued. He shook his head. It was the right thing to do because, in my opinion, as big as Conor McGregor looked when he at the opening bell, if you ask me, he shrunk a little bit by the 10th round, or was it the 10th round when the fight was stopped?
10th round, yes.
Yeah.
Same as Ricky Hatton.
He looked a little bit smaller in stature to me. You know, I'm not sure what vantage point, you know, everyone saw the fight from, but from the vantage point that I saw, Conor's hands were down. He wasn't protecting himself. He got caught with a left hook and he was falling into the ropes. For all the referee knows, he's on his way out of the ring. For all the referee knows, he's on his way to his head slapping the canvas. And you need to have this kind of, you need to be aware and you need to pay that kind of attention to the fighter when his body starts to slump like that.
Francis, what do you think?
No, Britton makes valid points. The only thing I disagree with him is in what I've seen with Conor McGregor in these past fights, both Nate Diaz round 2, is when Nate started to land punches and the second time in the octagon, Conor was fatigued as well, but it was still evading those punches and was still responsive to blows that were coming at him. So it was when Floyd Mayweather landed the first on his head in round 10, Conor took a massive step back. If the referee stepped in then, it seemed to me valid point in which he would intervene because Conor looked less responsive right there. He looked to me like he took that hit. It's just that he started to try and move again and he got lower, which I agree, he shrunk. He tried to find a way to maybe move towards Floyd Mayweather, and as he said in the end, to try and link up with Floyd Mayweather is the master of trying to preserve time. If if Conor McGregor was able to kind of use some of that to get closer, just to give himself maybe go into the next round, which he would have lost either way. And I get what you're saying about you want to end it a punch early because no one wants to go down. But I'm just thinking in the past, like, I'm a neutral fan that's never watched a boxing fight. I've watched boxing all my life. And I think I've seen boxers take further damage. I'm not laughing at you, Francis. I'm laughing at some of these live chats. People talking so much shit. Go do your own live streams if you don't like it, my friend.
Okay, real quick. I understand what Francis is feeling. I
will betray him.
I weirdly felt the same way. I felt, Floyd, get the male strippers over here. So I would.
The strippers are here, my best friends are strippers.
Oh my God, Jason, get the male strippers.
Well, I'm talking to. Look, you know what? F you guys. You guys are listening on the live stream. You're watching the fight. He's doing work with you like these boys. They recorded Britain.
Francis ever.
Recorded everything. And Nate was a great intern. He fetched many a Starbucks. Nate was a great intern.
Look at this fucking man.
He fetched many a Starbucks.
Okay, real quick. I initially felt the same way. I initially felt the same way as Francis, and this is why you usually have to give yourself like at least 12, if not a full day, to really take in what you just saw, because as fans we react to what we saw initially. But I felt the same way initially, which was unfulfilled. I thought, like, if he's gonna compete and if he's gonna fight his way through 10 rounds with arguably the greatest that we've ever seen, let him taste the canvas. And then granted, that's an immature way of going about it, and maybe that separates the fan from the actual professional. I felt as unfulfilled as Francis did, with probably within the first 20 minutes of the fight ending. Honestly, that's my raw emotions of how I felt.
Well, you know, I just want to, you know, not necessarily counter that, because all feelings, emotions, and
counter it, bitch. Hit me.
Are valid in this point. But I'll just say, you know, there's a young fighter by the name of Pritchard Colon who was engaged in the fight. Looked like he was on his way to winning that fight. He took a lot of rabbit punches behind the head. The referee took a look at him. His corner took a look at him, and they decided that he was capable of continuing action. He continued the action until he couldn't anymore, despite him being ahead on the scorecards. That young man fell into a coma later that day, stayed in that coma for, I believe, over a year and a half, and now is subject to being in a wheelchair, and his life is forever changed. So listen, I don't know if, you know, and I'll never challenge anyone's knowledge unless you've never been in that ring before. But if you've been in the ring before, you've traded punches with a person, and you see the eyes of someone when they're severely tired, unless you just don't have a soul, you don't want to hit that person anymore. I've been there before. And seeing Conor McGregor shrink the way he did, seeing him fall into the ropes. I mean, listen, people can comment all they want to in the comments. If you've never boxed before, I don't want to hear it. If you've never taken punches in that boxing round for a sustained 3 minutes for 8, 10, 12 rounds, I don't want to hear what you have to say. The fight was stopped properly because Conor McGregor was fatigued, and it was academic what was going to happen next. He was going to take more flush straight right hands, more flush left hooks, more body damage, and something really, really bad could have ended up happening to him with those 8-ounce gloves. This fight was stopped properly because you have a Hall of Fame referee who's been doing this for, you know, I don't know how long Robert Byrd's been doing it, but he was appointed that position for a reason. He wasn't overly into the fight, trying to, you know, break them up. He let them fight on the inside. You know, Conor did what he was supposed to do. And I think that had Conor really had some type of debate about the way the fight was stopped, you would have saw him immediately. What are you doing? You saw, listen, when Nathan Cleverly got stopped, Nathan Cleverly immediately when the fight stopped, what are you doing? I'm still here. I'm still capable. When Robert Byrd stepped in the middle, Conor McGregor rested on the ropes and he looked up, was the first thing he did, as if to say, okay, it's over. Yes. The fight was stopped properly, and it's justified in Conor McGregor's face. He didn't want to fight anymore, and that's the reason why the fight was stopped.
Totally fair.
This is why I appreciate Britton being on this, because he has that knowledge of not only just being an analyst, but of being in the ring himself. And it's the same way that I'm playing on the field and they talk about world football, I just have that sense of understanding of what it's like to play and compete, and you just have that understanding a little bit more so I appreciate his opinion on that. And when I wake up tomorrow, I'll probably think, okay, that was the right decision. It was just that raw emotion that Rick touched on where you're like,
Right.
I'll just kind of let the guy go through. But I do want to say that I'm going to check out on the live stream. I've got you people.
How much alcohol you got to drink in the big guy?
But more and celebrate what I think was still an eventful night. But regardless, I wanted to give a little. It's a weird comment because I don't usually do this, but I wanted to say, Rick.
Yeah.
Arranging the live stream. It's been fantastic, both earlier on today. Having the Aussies in was good. Having all these different people.
It was fun.
Amazing that you. I want to say thanks for putting this together. It was a good way to look at the fight.
Oh, he's done?
Oh wow, I guess that's a drop the mic moment.
See, now I feel unfulfilled with that.
Holy shit! We're not paying him 100 mil, right?
Wait a minute. Let's backtrack for a second.
Drop the mic on you.
You know what he did? He set me up to feel unfulfilled.
I have a feeling that Francis, I feel like that's his thing. He leaves people feeling unfulfilled.
Oh my God, bro.
Feels about 10 rounds. Look, I got to make this comment because I was going back and forth with Rick yesterday about.
Thanks, Francis.
I was at Jewel nightclub to see J. Cole. I thought I was going to see J. Cole. I really did. Thought it was going to be a great J. Cole show.
I know who you saw.
It turns out that Conor lasted longer than J. Cole did on stage. J. Cole played 18 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, he played one verse of 7 or 8 songs, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good 18 minutes, but that was it.
Did you pay to get in?
It was $37 for pre-sale.
That's not bad.
So less than cover for most, in general. But Just Incredible was a good DJ set, and Chance was there, and so is Draymond Green and Paul George.
Oh yeah, they were partying it up like crazy.
Yeah, they were out everywhere.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, if there was a prop bet, J. Cole or Conor McGregor for just the amount of minutes in their respective venues, I very much would have bet on J. Cole. It would only need to be about 28 minutes.
Right. Totally.
So I didn't shock prop bet loss.
Jason, I got a question for you. The Cover Athlete Diary via the live stream says, I think I'd rather see a GSP versus McGregor than Bisping. You agree?
No. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna get at a GSP.
We don't know what we're gonna get out of Conor next.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm done doubting Conor in the UFC. Like, the thing with Conor McGregor at this point, right, is he has continuously tested himself. And one of the things that we don't, in general, as a media, give him enough credit for, Gervonta Davis didn't make weight. Conor did.
He's a professional.
Conor steps up every single time, man. Takes fights with 2 weeks' notice, always makes weight, no excuses, and gets in there. Whether you can't stand Conor or you don't like his brand, and I was somebody who didn't, especially my peak of getting frustrated was the retirement tweet, dangling the media out there, showing how much control he had. I hated that, if I'm being honest. But at this point, how could you knock the guy?
Yeah.
He likes the challenge.
Yeah. Jason, to your point, Conor McGregor this was the perfect ending. This was the perfect ending to the night. This was the perfect ending to the fight. I said this earlier in the live stream. Floyd Mayweather, they may very well win the battle, but Conor McGregor is going to win the war. He absolutely made a great account of himself, showed a great account of himself in that ring. He showed some skill. He showed he had way more wrinkles to his boxing game than most people were giving him. People thought this was a farce. They thought this was a joke.
Totally.
They thought this was a joke. And he came to win the fight, and he showed wrinkles in his game that he won more rounds than a lot of professional boxers aren't able to win against Floyd Mayweather. Okay?
How'd you score in the first 4, Britton?
I gave him the first 3.
Okay.
But while he was
it was the same strategy he used against Zab Judah. He walked to him, he brought the fight to him, and he walked him down. Exactly what he said he was going to do, he did it.
for sure. He was landing.
I agree with that.
He was landing a lot of soft pity pat punches. He kept Floyd on the back foot. You know, he kept Floyd on the defense for a large part of the fight. But Floyd, when he landed, he made it count. And what wins fight is clean, hard, effective punches. But you know, just to wrap up that point, because I see we have a guest, and I want to introduce Eddie. But Conor McGregor has so many different roads that he can travel down now. Like I said, you have that built-in narrative already for Paulie Malignaggi. Did Paulie really get you know, dragged in sparring? We don't know because we haven't seen the full thing. But we saw what Conor was able to do to him in sparring. We saw what he was able to do with Floyd Mayweather tonight, and it's almost making me want to see, okay, well, you have someone who's a little bit depreciated in skill from a Floyd Mayweather. Let's see what you're able to do with that person in a 12-round fight.
All right, Britain, good stuff as always. Eddie Mercado is now joining us from Bloody Elbow, of course, of the SB Nation Network. By the way, Eddie, if you have a drink, go ahead and take a little swig. You know, Jason and I are going to. Britain is a fighter, so he's not necessarily doing anything. By the way, Eddie, with the phenomenal Paulie Malignaggi beard, so give it up for him as well with the Paulie Malignaggi beard.
I gotta say, I think he took it from me. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But I might be the trendsetter in that department. So he might be rocking the Eddie Mercado beard. I don't know.
All right, fair. Does that mean you're stepping in the ring with Conor next?
Never. I don't. I think I have him by 30 pounds, and still no way. Not gonna happen.
Okay, so Eddie, we've been dissecting this left and right. We left off with Britain about talking. Obviously, we know what happened in the end. But where did you give Conor in terms of rounds in the fight before it was stopped?
I gave him 1 through 4. The 4th round was pretty close and debatable, but I ultimately gave it to him. He had a super strong start. I think Floyd was really intelligent with letting Conor come forward right off the bat, kind of seeing what he has, and then as the fight progressed, go ahead and move forward and really just kind of outclass the guy. But
yeah, go ahead.
Just Conor, he did way better than I expected, and way better than a lot of people expected. Now, some people might say, oh, well, Floyd allowed him to do that, you know, because of the way Floyd was fighting, who was true to his word. He said, hey, I'm coming forward. And man, he did. He was true to his word, and he went forward, which we don't normally see. And he didn't look like the Floyd we're used to seeing. He wasn't all defensive rolling and, you know, coming with that shoulder roll counter right hand. It was more offensive, and man, it was entertaining, and I feel like everybody won here. The fans, the fighters, boxing, the MMA in general. It's just a win for everyone.
So Eddie, real quick, and then I want to just open it up to everybody. Jason said that he doesn't necessarily know what's going to be the next step for Conor, and I agree with that, because really, the world is his oyster. He's shown that he can succeed against the best of the best. Granted, it's an aged 40-year-old who just took 2 years off Floyd Mayweather. But he's also shown that he can compete and be a simultaneous champion in 2 weight classes in the UFC. So, in your opinion,
Gain the lead.
As you guys mentioned, Paul Malignaggi, of course, that'll draw in eyes, and it'll be a big payday for both guys. And the trash talk leading up, I think, will be even better and more genuine than the Floyd Mayweather build-up and the whole press conference deal and whatnot. So, I mean, if he has that, Conor has that. I mean, there's also the rubber match with Nate Diaz. Everybody wants to see that. I know I do, and I know Nate Diaz is waiting for that as well. So there's always that in the UFC. I'm not sure if the payday would be as big as boxing, though. So for me, that's like the big determining factor here. Is it's hard for me to see Conor going back, taking a pay cut to do a more violent sport. So, you know, it's interesting. Obviously, when he goes, or if he goes back to the UFC, he will be able to ask for more money, as now he is a megastar. He went toe-to-toe with Floyd Mayweather and did pretty decent, right? Like, he did better than most people would have ever expected. Lasted to the 10th round. Like, that's incredible. That's incredible for your first fight.
I've said this before. As many rounds as he had. Ricky Hatton came into a very awkward, yet European style, much akin to Conor McGregor, even though he's a righty. But still, he lasted as many as a professional, not fighter, but boxer. Britton, let me ask you something. So Big Rock says on the live stream, and by the way, thank you everybody for tuning in. He said Conor had everything going for him except experience. Do you agree with that?
He had everything going for him except for experience.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree. Because I don't think at any point power or speed showed up for Conor. I think that if Conor would have showed in the first 4 rounds where Floyd threw maybe 5 punches in the first round. His game plan was obviously to let Conor McGregor get tired, throw big shots early, and then walk him down and knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I think that if Conor had any speed or power on his punches, Floyd wouldn't have been walking to him like that. I think that he would have been a little bit more defensive. So I think that he didn't have the power that he anticipated that he would. He didn't have the speed that he has in 4-ounce gloves. And I ultimately think that he lacked speed, power, and experience. So, I ultimately disagree with that.
Is there anything, B, that you saw as a tactician in the squared circle that Conor could improve on specifically?
Plenty.
No, I mean, like obviously he's going to be exposed against Floyd. Was there one thing that you saw?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say the very first thing I'll notice is that he didn't have a crisp jab at all. His jab, which I said on TYT, how Mayweather beats McGregor. Conor's jab isn't strong. That's the #1 and the most important punch when it comes to boxing. That's your defense. That's also your best line of offense. His jab had no power behind it. It was very jiggly. He was just kind of keeping it out there as a rangefinder, and he would push with it, which is why you rarely saw Floyd's head snap back when he hit with it. I think Francis made a good point of Floyd absorbed a lot of the punches he was throwing, even though he wasn't rolling them, because he kept his chin tucked. Had he been throwing a powerful enough jab, you would have saw Floyd Mayweather's head snapping back a lot more than he was. So, of all the many things that I saw that Conor could have done differently, his jab was very, very weak.
Hey, Jason, I got one for you. Big Mouth Stan right in the comments. Jason's hella mad for no reason.
Me? I just had the fist like a motherfucker. Like, I'm really honest. Like, I've been sitting here for 3 hours. Look, when you're watching the fight on Instagram live, that's where my life's at. Like, I'm telling you, the fight, I'm at the Mandalay Bay. I can throw a football and hit the T-Mobile Arena. I can literally throw it and hit the T-Mobile Arena. And we realize that you can't
still
get
wouldn't
the
hit
fight
it,
here.
though.
Me, no, I'd fall like at least 40 yards. Brady's doing quite fine, so I figure Eli Manning could throw one, and I could throw one. Regardless, totally besides the point. Am I hella mad? I'm hella mad because I'm down like 360 on the tables. I'm hella mad because J. Cole played 18 minutes. I'm hella mad about everything besides the fact that pure joy came from watching these 10 rounds. I can't express that enough. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I take Britain's word and Rick's word as guide towards a sport that I continuously learn under, because I think if you're not trying to better yourself, then you're not trying to learn, vice versa. So the more you take in, the more that you watch the UFC and boxing, the more that you start picking up. And I just don't think there's anything that Conor has to hang his head about. And I think Floyd, in his own right, it just fits his narrative.
In the lead.
You can talk so much shit about Floyd Mayweather and his character outside the ring, but the one differential that I'll make is, even though I don't make this in the NFL, I do make it in boxing. Inside the ring, his IQ is through the fucking roof. And you might not be able to say that about him outside the ring. Does it really matter? No, because this guy's taking home paydays.
No, because he's richer than everyone on the jury.
Literally, everyone. No, there's one point that Britain just made right there. Floyd Mayweather took home in this one fight, if it's hit its pay-per-view numbers or even came close, more than any one NFL player has ever made in his career. Took home in one paycheck. So whether Floyd needed the money or not, which I don't believe he needed the money, because he's got a club here in Vegas. Sure, he's flashy, spends a lot. I do. Look, I give props to Ariel.
You want to know what's a
props to
ginormous
Ariel
waste
for waiting
of time,
6
Jason?
hours.
You're there. You want to know what's a ginormous waste of time? My Jewish brother? going to a strip club.
I'm not a huge
Dumbest
fan of
shit, dumbest system set up in the world, not America, the world.
My dumbness, if that's even a word, is my weakness is we let Sydney at Mandalay Bay, the blackjack dealer who hit 21. Hit to 21. I'm not even joking with any of you. Eddie, I know I
hit to 21.
I have a boxing question. I have a boxing
Hit me.
I have a boxing question.
No, hit Eddie.
It's actually for Eddie.
Hit Eddie.
Yeah, this is actually for Eddie. Eddie, I wanted to know, you know, just kind of piggybacking off of the comment that I said about, you know, the things that Conor McGregor could improve on. What did you think that Conor McGregor could improve on, and did Floyd Mayweather look his age to you, or do you think that he fought that way on purpose?
I'll start with Conor. What he improved on or can improve on, I think, is just overall polish. You know, like he was doing some grappling moves out there. Like he was taking the back and holding and hitting, and the hammer fist to the back of the head. The referee really let those guys fight out there. He really just stayed out of it. And you know, props to him, but some other referees might not give him, you know, award him that same luxury if he has another boxing match. You know, he can be getting points deducted. He can be getting disqualified. You know, there was a lot of low shot. Like, there was moments in this fight where it got gritty. And he was getting dirty out there. And, you know, ultimately it ended up, and there was mad respect shown to him, which I absolutely loved. But I think just overall polish, and there's so many punch selection. Conor threw a lot of volume. You know, he really tried to keep his volume up. And like you said, the power wasn't there in the jab, but the jab was present. And that's crucial. Especially in MMA, the jab is one of the most underutilized weapons. Just guys just don't use it. They don't take advantage of it. And there's really no good reason why not, because it's dangerous. It can be offensive, it can be defensive, it can set up other shots. And so I think he threw a lot of volume, but they all didn't land clean. So that comes into play with the gas tank and the later rounds. But as we saw when Conor fought Nate Diaz the first time, and you know, he had issues with the weight, and he really adjusted for the second time, and he looked much better. So if Conor boxes again, I think he will look much better, much more polished, and I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up a win against Malignaggi, and if the odds are worth it, that might be a solid bet.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic point, Eddie, especially with Diaz.
Yeah, a really good point, and I want to hear your take on Floyd, but you know, just to kind of interject on what you said, or more so segue. I think that Conor McGregor is still finding himself. You know, he said that he wasn't going to break away from what he traditionally was. And I think that's smart in the sense that what got you to the party, yeah, you want to incorporate some of that, but then as a boxer, he doesn't know who he is. So when you go against TBE, there's a lot of things he's going to learn. There's a lot of tricks that he's going to take away from this. And I think that if he goes into a ring with a lesser fighter, you know, a B-level fighter, maybe a Malignaggi at this point in his age, maybe, I'm not sure, but it's probably really smart. But if he really wants to commit to boxing, you can see a way where he has the physical tools to do it. And once he learns how to pace himself over 12 rounds, and once he figures out, hey, I may not be the biggest puncher in boxing as I was in MMA, maybe I'm a volume boxer. You see volume fighters in boxing be very successful at the highest level. They know who they are, and they know their skills. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know how to survive when he got tired of boxing, especially with somebody as polished as Floyd. So I think that what happened was academic, and it's what we pretty much saw. I want Eddie. I want you to quickly tell me if you thought that Floyd was his age, or if you think that he was fighting like that on purpose. And then Rick, if you don't mind, I want to make sure we're getting through all the questions on the live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I do not think he looked his age. I think he fought a different style than he usually sees. He just wanted to keep his word. He knew that he was a better boxer, and he knew he could come forward without the usual threats that are present against guys like Pacquiao, like Don, Cotto. You know, so when he's fighting those caliber fighters, he's defense #1 all day, every day. when he's fighting this, Conor McGregor making his professional debut, well, he could take more risks. He doesn't have to be as adverse. He can let his punches go a little more, and that's why he looked a little. People might say he looked like he was showing his age, but I just think he was fighting a style that is not his style, and it was still more than enough to get the job done.
Yeah, and it's easier. I think that it's easier for him to fight that way because he doesn't have to worry much about defense because he knows, man. Like, if you've ever been in the ring and you hold those 10-ounce gloves up, they weigh something. You're not just walking around with 10-ounce gloves for the duration of a fight if you're not prepared for it, or 8-ounce gloves, and you don't feel it. He knew that Conor's arms are going to get tired, and he knew when to turn up the volume in his punches, which goes back to my original point that Floyd Mayweather has been doing this essentially since he was 3 years old. Floyd Sr. said, I started training him when he was 3 years old. Floyd Mayweather knows exactly who he is in boxing, which is why he fights so defensively most of the time. It's easier for me to do it this way. I can come forward, but it's easier because I know myself. And he knew what he had to do not to do. So, Eddie, I think
gentlemen, I'm going to interject for a second. I'm about to head out in a quick second. I just wanted to give a major shout out to everybody involved in this stream. First of all, Eddie, considering you do the MMA gambling page at times, especially with Bellator and UFC, I think you do a fantastic job following the lines. It's something that I'm very interested in and always have been. So for any of those, make sure you follow Eddie on Twitter. I believe at the Eddie Marcato, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please follow those who do like to bet in the fight game, like myself. Eddie's got good advice. Eddie can make you money. But don't get mad at Eddie if he doesn't make you money. I do the same thing for Roto, so don't get mad at him. We're just giving you our best fun.
Did you bet on Floyd?
I mean, you got to put your money on money, except for the fact that, like, I was betting specifically on very specific rounds of knockout. 10 wasn't. The one I nailed was over 9.5. Man, was I happy how good they got out of the ninth round.
Here's the more important question. Did you parlay him with other UFC fights?
No.
Oh, that is a missed opportunity there, man.
Okay, here's my other question. Does anybody, and this is no disrespect to a fantastic boxer, does anybody know what happened in the Cotto fight?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Who did Cotto win?
I didn't get to see it.
Does anybody know?
I heard it was exciting. This would be a first for me, real time.
Cotto. Google.
I'm looking on Twitter.
No, I don't want to know. I want to know.
You don't want to know?
I lied.
I don't want to know.
Double knockout.
Pull out your headphones for a second. Pull out your headphones.
All right.
No, not you, Britt. Yeah, Britt.
I just want to say it's been a privilege to be on this.
Cotto won.
Cotto
won. Okay.
He was always good.
I can put it back in.
All right, Jason Rubin, everybody. Hold on. Okay. So to pick up where we left off, I just want to get through the game. Britt Wall says, this guy as in you is right. Going back to your initial point about how when fighters are hurt, you need to protect them. He says boxers know it's easy to get hurt badly. And I think the initial point is important, where he says boxers know. And a lot of people just know, including the referee. Now, if this were to be a Kenny Bayless-like fight, knowing how he likes to separate them as much as possible, as opposed to Robert Byrd, who just let them go and go and go, I think that a point would have been taken away. Not necessarily that it would have helped Conor to be given another 20 seconds. I don't think anything would have helped him. He would have been delaying the inevitable. But going back to your initial point about getting hurt, it just seems like both boxers and also a referee just simply know it's inherited as a fighter in that respective sport when one is just damaging the other, and it's best to save your bullets for another day.
Right. Absolutely. You don't want to wreck this guy to the point where he's no good in the future as a pugilist or a mixed martial artist. This is how he makes a living. And for example, since, we just touched on Miguel Cotto lightly.
Yeah.
Miguel Cotto went into a fight with Antonio Margarito, and Antonio Margarito
Oh my
absolutely
God.
assaulted him illegally.
Oh my God.
And if you watch the history of his fights,
Well, go into it previously. What happened?
I'm sorry.
Go into it. Like what happened with Antonio Margarito?
Antonio
For those who don't
Margarito.
know.
Antonio Margarito. They met at 147 pounds. It was a summit meeting at that point in time because Floyd Mayweather had retired. This fighter was going to go on and face Manny Pacquiao for big time money and be a mega star. Everyone assumed that the winner was going to be Miguel Cotto. He put on a boxing clinic for easily the first 6 rounds of the fight, but there was something very suspicious about his reaction to Antonio Margarito's volume punching after 6 rounds. And I think that what a lot of people didn't know at that time, which was later found out, was that he had plaster of Paris in his gloves. He had a cast-like substance that when wet will dry up and form a cast inside of his gloves, and which is absolutely illegal. And I don't think that he should have been able to fight after that boxing match. But again, money talks. Absolutely assaulted Miguel Cotto and beat him to a bloody pulp. The fight should have been stopped probably 2 rounds before that. And in my opinion, Miguel Cotto never performed to his highest level again, even when he fought Floyd Mayweather. He was a shell of himself. And everyone wanted to see at that time what a prime Miguel Cotto would have done with Floyd Mayweather. And I was one of those people that I thought Floyd Mayweather would have won the fight, but I thought that it would have been very close because Miguel Cotto was an amazing boxer. He could dish it, he could take it, and something about him, let's just put it like this. He lost a piece of himself in that ring. He left a piece of himself in that ring. Yes. And he, from that point on, became this sympathetic figure in boxing that he always kind of felt like he was slighted and the boxing world owed him something because he wasn't saved. Now, that happened to somebody in Conor McGregor, who's never had a boxing match before, fighting one of the highest level precision fighters in the game right now today. He was getting hit with flush right hands, flush left hooks, and he needed and deserved to be protected.
As I'm looking at it right now, after Antonio Margarito, he beat Michael Jennings, he beat Joshua Kalati, he lost to Manny Pacquiao, he beat Yuri Foreman, who tore like both ACLs and MCLs in that fight. Ricardo Mayorga, he beat Margarito without hand plasters, lost to Floyd, lost to Trout, and then he lost to Canelo. Even speaking volumes to the point that you just made, since that fight, he became more broken. It seems like by fight. So I agree with you. Eddie, I want to, yeah, go ahead, Britt.
I was going to say, and there's 2 fights on that record that don't necessarily reflect the battle and the damage that he sustained in those fights. The battle against Joshua Kalati could have easily gone in the other direction for Kalati.
Right, because he got his eyebrow cut or his eye cut in like the 4th round, 3rd round. He still won.
Yes. Yeah. And there was another one on that list that you named where he took a lot of sustained punishment as well. But Austin tried to get
yeah, those are the 2. Eddie, there was a question that someone asked on the live stream, and it was, would you rather see Conor against GSP or Bisping against GSP? And we know that the latter is going to happen at that point, but if you had your pick, which one would it be? Conor being at 100%.
Does it have to be those?
Double kill.
Yeah. I feel like the GSP Conor fight has the potential. If GSP is the GSP affiliate, that fight really has the potential to be just a kind of a stinker, I think. I think Conor just might spend a whole lot of time on his back and GSP spending a whole lot of time controlling and not necessarily inflicting much damage. But I think I would rather see Conor.
Okay, who do you think's going to win?
There's so much of an X factor with the gap and the layoff of GSP. And since USADA got implemented, he has been just on his head. And it's hard to pick against him. and he'll probably be the bigger man. Yeah, I really like. It pains me to pick Bisping over GSP, and that pains me. But it's hard for me to pick someone coming off the connect. So I really hate that I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. It doesn't sound like you're hating yourself. It still sounds okay.
Bisping is the middleweight champion. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Okay, I see that Michael Hutchinson is joining us. Your co-worker, as a matter of fact, of Bloody Elbow.
Yes,
so we're
sir.
trying to get everybody involved. Michael, I think your mic is muted, by the way. So if you could unmute yourself. There we go.
What's
All
up?
right. Michael Hutchinson.
There we go.
come on,
Sick.
buddy.
It's going good, man. It has been a long day. So I'm glad that this is all over. I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I was fatigued as hell, even before the fight started and then the delay. So I'm kind of glad this is all over. Yeah.
Okay, initial thoughts after seeing Conor last 10 rounds.
Not surprised at all. I had predicted that he would be finished round 8, round 9, so it took a little bit longer than I thought it would. But Conor McGregor impressed me for a round 2. I think it more so had to do with... Yeah, 3 and 4, I think Mayweather, like, you saw him starting to get into his groove, and it's just like, yeah, this is where Mayweather slowly turns it up, and Conor McGregor slowly fades. So yeah, first 2 rounds, definitely. I scored the 3rd round for McGregor, but it was pretty even. And then 4th round and on, it was all Mayweather, which is what most people expected to happen. I was just surprised, really, with the uppercut that McGregor landed, that he did land.
In the first round.
Yeah, in the first round, exactly. So impressed with his first round. Other than that, it was pretty much what most.
But as I was saying, and I just want to open it up to everybody real quick, so jump in whenever you want. But to Michael's point, and even to Britton's point, it wasn't even a flush uppercut. As I told Britton earlier on, it was an uppercut that grazed Floyd's chest. Now, if it landed flush, who knows what would have happened. I don't think it would have changed the outcome, but it would have proven just a little bit more Michael power that Conor had. Because we saw the speediness in the first 3 rounds. We saw very, very little power that could finish Floyd. And it was to your point that he was just sort of feeling him out, letting Conor do what he had to do, and letting Conor expel a lot of energy, Michael, in order to just finish him a little bit.
Well, I'm probably going to misquote this, but Conor McGregor's famous quote is "Timing beats speed," and oh darn, what's the other one? Basically, precision. Yeah, precision beats better. Something like that. Rats. Anyways, yeah, that Floyd Mayweather's a defensive genius, and that power is really all about timing and accuracy, and McGregor didn't have that. And yeah, had that uppercut landed flush, then maybe it would have done something, but it didn't. Why? Because Mayweather's a defensive genius. So McGregor's power all comes in his accuracy. And in MMA, he's fighting guys who don't have the type of defense that Mayweather has, the head movement. And it showed in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And just to, kind of comment on the big uppercut that he did land, while it was impressive, because he was sharp. And I just wasn't expecting it. It definitely made me take a step back and say, whoa, he has some wrinkles in his game. I knew that the fight was over. When he landed it, Floyd just kind of shook it off and walked forward. Because if he can't hurt Floyd Mayweather in the first 2 rounds when he's cold and hasn't broken the sweat yet, 9 times out of 10, people don't give Floyd the credit for the kind of chin he has. I knew that he wasn't going to be able to stop Floyd the longer the fight went on. So, just to your point, when he's fighting these MMA guys, he is able to move with a certain finesse and a different kind of accuracy and a different kind of speed, and it's hard. I think Shane Mosley admitted this when he fought Floyd Mayweather. When you're used to being the bigger, stronger man in the ring, bigger, stronger, faster, whatever your accolade is, you bring that to the ring, you bring that weapon into the ring. It's hard to admit to something bigger, faster, or stronger. And when you get in the ring with someone like Floyd Mayweather, who hits harder than you think he hits, and he's faster than you think he is, he's more defensive than you think he is, and it kind of all caves in on you. And Floyd Mayweather says this all the time. It's different when you get inside the ring.
Also, real quick, you know, Conor, when he's fighting his MMA fights, he's really big on using his kicks, which often set up his hands. And, you know, in a strictly boxing match, he doesn't have that luxury. So, you know, when it's one dimension, you know, he's really, I don't want to call him a novice because, you know, he's been punching almost his whole life, but there's levels to this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
There's just levels to it. But he did well. He did well enough for me to want to see him box again.
For sure. You were gonna say something, Rick?
I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna read a few comments at Eddie's points. Even though he seemed, we all didn't have many expectations. It seemed like the consensus among all media was, maybe 5, maybe 3. Like, Floyd is gonna be a tactician as he usually is. Floyd was voluntarily patient with Conor, allowing him to just expel so much force and energy, as I said in my Conor's heart and gamesmanship, but also I didn't come in like he was a 1940s fighter. Like his stance was so awesome. There was no bend in his knee. And I guess Britain could maybe score on into this as a fighter. But it seems like this walker in a style, it reminded me of like watching old Jack Johnson fights on YouTube, where he would just be awkward and up.
Yeah, well, in mixed martial arts, you want to have a wider base, and you want to be able to prepare for kicks, and that largely goes to speaks value to him not bringing the boxing the coaches that he had traditionally trained with. Yeah, so I mean, we weren't going to see him look like a boxer in there. He was always going to look like Conor McGregor, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that had Conor McGregor fought a C-level fighter, he would have probably won the fight. Had he fought a B-level fighter, it would have been competitive. I mean, but when you're fighting TBE and you haven't had much boxing experience and you haven't brought in a boxing trainer, you are going to look a little bit awkward.
I mean, towards the tail end of the fight, so incredibly tired. I had edited this and I did from fight as it is right now.
Are you asking me?
Yes. Yeah, people would buy it, but I think there's bigger fights for McGregor, and I think McGregor impressed in this fight for sure. I do think that the Malignaggi fight would be maybe competitive. I don't know a whole ton about boxing, but I think that Conor McGregor does need to go back to MMA immediately to get his winning ways, to show again that he's a champion, because people are kind of forgetting it. He beat Eddie Alvarez. It's almost coming up to a year, and then the Jose Aldo 13-second knockout was so long ago that he needs a fight where he can show, yes, I'm the champion, yes, I'm a world beater, because it's been a while since he's done that. So, am I interested?
Who's the perfect opponent, in your opinion?
Pardon?
Who's the perfect opponent, in your opinion?
Perfect opponent? Stylistic.
5 minutes remaining.
I'm thinking Khabib would be the most interesting for me stylistically when it comes to his biggest challenge yet. That would just be an amazing fight, and you can do the whole Russia angle. Khabib isn't afraid to trash talk. He's one of the more entertaining guys in the lightweight division, which is a stacked division. I would like to see that fight next, but it doesn't make sense because Khabib's injured, or he gets injured a lot. McGregor says that he doesn't trust Khabib to actually make it to the fight.
Too much tiramisu.
Exactly, yeah, and missing weight recently, it's just a big risk. So most likely he'll fight Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee, or in the Diaz trilogy. Those are really the only realistic fights I see happening. Or a super fight against Max Holloway. Could see that too.
I guess this is a question for both the Bloody Elbow guys, but couldn't he just throw that in his back pocket? Like, that could be the...
gotta be careful with that because at the end of the day, this is combat, and anything can happen. And it's not like these guys are only, in danger while they're in a fight. Like these guys train way more than they fight, and they are at risk way more when they're not fighting. Like that's just the way it is. So, to kind of to have longevity in the sport is really a special. So, it's really hard to bank on 2-3 years down the line, which is why a 4-year suspension for John Jones is devastating. So, it's hard to put that in your back pocket. It's kind of like you have to get it while you can, as quick as you can, and maybe even get out before we see a lot of guys who stick around way longer than they should, and it's tough to watch. So you don't want to see that. I think waiting too long is a bad thing. People will forget. People won't care. And who knows what Nate Diaz will be doing between now and then. He might just retire altogether, and then that fight's off the table. So I think he should probably get that in sooner rather than later. But if
MMA guys, and we have a boxing guy. So it's interesting to hear the contrasting styles between the three of you. That as I throw this to you, you agree with Eddie and Mike to go and try to get a win and like
I think at this juncture in his career, he just turned 29 years old. He has a growing family. He capitalized off of the brand that he's created, and I think that with him performing at such a high level against Floyd Mayweather, and there being speculation around how he performed against Paulie Malignaggi, I think that built-in narrative is what we're going to see. Listen, he goes and he fights Khabib. That's a tough fight for him. Khabib takes him to the ground. It's foreseeable that he can lose. He fights Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is amped up. He's ready to take over the division. It's foreseeable that he can lose. If he fights Conor Ferguson, it's foreseeable that he can lose. If he fights Paulie Malignaggi, there's a little bit more of a foreseeable future where he wins that fight. And I think that he gets up more money for the Paulie fight from Showtime as opposed to going directly back to the UFC. Because here's the thing. You think about Muhammad Ali in the sense that he took 3 years off, had never been beaten, and people still demanded to see him face off against Joe Frazier for the heavyweight championship because he was never beaten for that belt. The UFC will wait for him. Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee, if he's smart, he'll let those two beasts battle it out, and the winner, he'll say, now you go and face Khabib, and the winner of those two beasts, that's the person who he'll come back and fight. All the while, he can train in this limited discipline that he called it. He can fight Paulie Malignaggi, settle that score, and those tougher fights will be there for him.
Fair. Totally fair. There were a few more questions that I have for you guys, and then we're going to log off here. And we appreciate everybody watching again on the live stream here on TYT Sports. I guess my next predicament that I'm in is I thought that Conor really proved a lot in this fight, and I know that we've talked about this a little bit, but I was just surprised with how well he stuck in there, how well he fought at a distance. Now, granted, he tired at 6, and I brought this up to Britain, guys, and I'll bring it up to both of you respectively, is that by round 6, when he started looking up at the clock, it reminded me of the Nate Diaz fight, when you could just tell that he was gassed. And once he started leaning on Mayweather, it was similar to how he leaned on Diaz and just wanted the round to be over and he wanted to get the hell out. If there was one improvement that he could possibly make for the next boxing match that he has, because I believe that he will have it, and I guess I'll throw it to Michael first. What is the biggest improvement that you see for Conor if he were to compete and successfully, not even successfully, just win overall in a boxing match?
I think you mentioned a quote earlier in the live stream when I wasn't on. I was watching, and it was that the one thing that McGregor doesn't have is experience. And I think that quote's over Floyd, that McGregor has every advantage other than experience. I completely disagree with that quote, but it is true that McGregor does need a ton of experience to reach that next level. The reason he was gassed out wasn't because he has terrible cardio. it was because he's not used to boxing. And any boxer will tell you, you don't gain your cardio by running 30, 40 miles. You don't gain your cardio by swimming, by going on a bike. You gain it by boxing, just by putting in those rounds over and over and over again. And McGregor hasn't done that. He's put in maybe 500 hours. Meanwhile, Mayweather and the top boxers have put in 10,000. So he just needs to do that to get better, really. It's kind of a cop-out of an answer, not saying any specific. But yeah, he just needs to put in more time in the gym boxing.
Eddie, what do you think?
He does need just overall polish. But like Britton was saying, finding out who he is when he's a boxer, finding out what's his style, and just really doing the soul searching and really dissecting his game like he did when he lost to Nate Diaz. I mean, he really showed everybody how to lose like a champion and fix your mistakes and come back and then, you know, face your demons and show that you can improve fight to fight. I mean, he's excellent at that. And even post-fight, he said in the interview, like, hey, when I fatigue, I get all wobbly like that. Like, I know this. That's a thing. You know, maybe it's not that I'm hurt necessarily, but when I'm gassed, you know, fatigue makes cowards of us all, right? So, you know, he just, I really think Britton nailed it right there with the finding out who he is and what suits him and how he can be successful in there, because only he really knows that. And he shows that with his MMA fights and how he improves from fight to fight. He's his own worst critic. And I think that's why he's so successful. He's not afraid to fail. And, you know, he's a learner. He's a student of the game. He's a true martial artist.
Yep.
So I you know, like I said, if the odds are there, I would probably put something on Conor over Malignaggi. So yeah.
I agree with that as well. Gentlemen, look, it has been an absolute pleasure to have all of you guys on. Britton Harden, we have gone through so many fights, not necessarily through a live stream, but it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Eddie Mercado and Michael Hutchinson of Bloody Elbow of SB Nation. You guys are fantastic. Michael, I know you jumped in late, but the next time that we have a live stream, you are the first guest that we are bringing on, because you guys bring some incredible perspectives from the MMA world. So we really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Love being here, man. Thank you.
I'll be back for GSP McGregor.
We're taking you up on it.
Yeah.
We're taking you up on it. And for everybody that was in the live stream, thank you so much for joining us. It was a weird fight week. It was probably one of the weirdest that we will ever see, but we appreciate you guys tuning in, so thank you so much. And for Michael, Eddie, and Britton, I'm Rick Stroud of TYT Sports. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Assault. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb taken. Bomb reset. Bomb armed. Bomb detonated. Gain the lead. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb reset. Bomb armed. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb disarmed. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Double kill. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb reset. Bomb reset. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb armed. Bomb detonated. Bomb reset. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb reset. Bomb taken. Bomb reset. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb armed. Bomb detonated. Gained the lead. Betrayal. Bomb armed. Bomb detonated. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. Betrayed. Bomb dropped. Bomb reset. Bomb reset. Bomb taken. Bomb dropped. Bomb taken. 1 minute remaining. Bomb dropped. Thirty seconds remaining. Bomb reset. 10 seconds remaining. Bomb taken. Sudden death. Bomb dropped. Game over. Slayer. Gain the lead. Gain the lead.
you. Good. I don't think the fight will be competitive. Please take a seat here if you could.
All right.
Pull that microphone right up so they have changed gloves from 10 ounces to 8 ounces. Mr. Mayweather. Who gets the advantage? And so my takeaway is small. We'll just land more punches.
Lost the lead.
Here's my question. How can the world's greatest anything fighting an absolute novice take it seriously? Michael Jordan did not take Tom Brady faces Peyton Manning. What does training look?
This training's good.
Good, not great. Conor McGregor has only one chance. He has to win. The longer they So you would sue Conor McGregor if he did that?
Of course we would. Why wouldn't?
So you've already
that's not. He came to box. That's what he thought he could. That's what he thought he could do. But now you're finna find out.
Is the Mayweather camp discuss the possibility of suing McGregor if he goes?
No Mayweather discussed that. That's me. That's me. There's enough people around here suing everybody for nothing. And this is something that you can be screwed.
So this would be something instead of nothing.
Exactly.
But you just told us, this seems to me to be news. 4 or 5 minutes ago. But it's not his best training. Why would he to go from 10 ounces to 8 ounces? Why would Floyd do that? I mean, it's kind of gimmicky. Floyd's the man. Why would he allow that to him?
So you know what?
What's the time?
I should tell you one thing. This guy. Conor don't have what it takes. Floyd is much better. He's still at his age right now. fast. You're too fast to count right now.
Why would Floyd allow smaller gloves? Is that just, I mean, doesn't he sell more?
No.
And there's a, you know, that video was the footage of Conor knocking down a spine.
I mean, that wasn't a joke, man. Them two, I love the fight.
Now, come on.
You told me, you got me in, man. They cannot either, whatever.
Give me all prediction what's going to happen. I want one right now. You've been honest with me. You said you might sue. You said it's not a fight. I want honesty. Prediction.
I'll take that. Right now, somebody else.
Has he told you he's tipped off? Conor made some jokes that were very funny, and many people said inappropriate.
He said that showed the whole world his hate. And guess what?
Without flag, you ain't getting this flag or this money back. I'm gonna fuck you up on this stage.
5 minutes remaining.
Continues to go to the ground and doesn't listen to Conor at all.
Now up!
And Conor completely flips out.
Stay on your feet! Stay on your feet!
You called him a cholo in there. That's kind of racially motivated. Did you mean to say it like that?
Mate, shut the fuck up and get away from me. You're it. He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm going to kill you and your whole team. You and them kids.
right? Want to change their life and want to be good for their family and the people that
That's why I can't stop DJ without saying something, cuz. Boy, that's loyalty.
What, you gonna do something about it? What are you gonna do? Do something then. Do something then. Do something then. Everybody here knows.
Fuck you! What? How the fuck am I supposed to get excited about this thing and he's gone? He doesn't want to be here. He's not going to be there December 12th like he was not there July 11th. So I'll tell everyone up here, 145 right through to 170, prepare for this fight because I don't think he's showing up. It's the opportunity of a lifetime you have, so get ready and don't use Chad's excuse of camps and all this bullshit. Stay ready because he's going running. Tell those fucking Showtime bitches to turn the air conditioning up.
What's up?
Not much.
We need your assistance.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Come get it. Come get it. Come get it. You ain't have.
Pick them $1 bills up, bitch! All you bitches.
If you either want to fight and want to come in here and win the show, or you don't. If you don't, well then I don't give a about you. You know what I mean? That's it. It is what it is. This show is.
You broke a perfectly good pair of head sunglasses. I could have used those sunglasses.
And he runs into Uriah Faber, Chad Mendes' teammate.
1 minute remaining.
And look at it. They go right at it, and you can see Uriah Faber.
Your whole team. Crackhead SS. We're doing nothing. We're doing nothing.
They all say I'm all talk. I look at them and say they're all talk because I'm the one in here fighting every week. I only had a 5-round war against a guy 3 times the size of me, and now I'm back again. And they're all I hear is complaining, bitching, moaning.
30 seconds remaining.
Because Conor has it, I should have it. No, I didn't always have it. I have the reason why I have it. I have to get my shit. Fuck you. Please walk. Please walk. Please walk.
10 seconds
Fuck
remaining.
him. Who's he? Who the fuck is he? Where's his fights? Where's him going out ruthless, taking out everyone? You know what I mean? Like who was going out there time and time again, back to back to back to back, putting it all on the line and continuing to show up.
Come on, guys.
Fuck this guy. Fuck this motherfucker.
Juice head, bitch. Look at you blown up bitch. Couldn't run up and back from there without being able to fucking break, you fat bitch.
He's got his pants all torn up, you know? I mean, who is he?
Thank you, I do look good, I know that.
That he did that disrespected you, that got you to dislike him.
This is not a therapy session.
Well, no, but you accused him of starting this, right?
I said what I said.
All right, on that note, I'm going to actually bring Conor and Aldo up here to square off.
Wait until you hear this. Wait until you hear this one.
They're going to square off here right now. Jose Aldo has to catch a plane. He is the best man at a wedding.
Jose has to catch a plane. He's what, little gospel bitch.
You need to focus on your fights, bro.
Put your little camera phone. Pussy. Whip out your camera phone now. Whip out your little camera phone now. You little fucking bitch. Where's everyone else doing? No one's doing nothing but talking. I'm the only one doing both. I'm talking, but I'm fucking walking a hell of a lot more than I'm talking.
But I think you should man up and fight him now. You brought him out of college. You said you brought him up, and then Dwayne came in, took him from you, and now he's winning the World Championship, and you should man up now and get that fight, I feel. That's your only fight, really.
We'll see.
Recognize the enemy. Recognize the enemy. That's what I will say.
You're like a woman. You're like a woman with that phone.
Your cameras get on here louder.
Fucking bitch. Come on, Eddie. You've been over in Japan or some shit. You've been fighting bums all your life. You've never been on this stage. You've never been against a guy like me. You're an absolute bum.
You know there's no fear going on here, bud.
What? There's no what?
There's no fear going on here.
No fear going on here.
Yeah, I know. I know. Takes one to spot one. Oh, man, Conor. America, bro. I'm not gonna let you be the only one wearing clown shoes around here.
At least you give an effort this time, so I appreciate that.
I got your shoes in the car, actually.
What shoes?
Your sandals, like since you gave up on Ireland, it came already.
Yeah. Where's the little snake? Where's the little weasel? Has he got Dwayne with him? Him and Dwayne, come over, take the show, take over the show. They take over your gym, they'll take over the show too, I'm sure. That's how people do to you. They just run you over.
Man up, that's the fight to make. You ain't got nothing left. That's the only fight you have. I mean, what else has he got?
Champ does what he wants.
Thank you. I do whatever I want.
Yeah, yeah. You'll never touch that belt in your life. I always fell short. But the guy you brought up touched it.
What, TJ?
Until I see TJ, I didn't see him here. Would I not say that to that little twerp? Little snake in the grass he is. He's a little snake in the grass.
Conor! That's a wrap. Get him out of here. Hey, Dave. Hey, everybody right here, everybody. Hey, hey. Conor, go.
I think so.
I think you just don't want to fight either of us.
I'd whoop the Tiwis at the same time.
I'd like to see that.
We don't get tired.
Oh, so that's a dig at Chad. So you dig at each
2
other.
weeks notice.
That's the type of stuff you go at, yeah? You dig at each other.
He's gone. What am I supposed to do? He's gone running again. I don't know whether he'll be back. All I know is that I will be there. December 12th, like I always am there. People are always saying about the talk, and I talk, and I talk, and I talk, but guess fucking what? I back it up. I back it up. Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
There was no skill difference, it was just errors you were making. There was no skill difference there. It wasn't like he was the better man, because he wasn't the better man. You gave him everything there. You set your back.
Fuck you.
That's all right. Hey, Conor. Conor, don't throw those fucking... Conor!
Since you've migrated to America, join the rest of the immigrants like my family.
I'll take them, but...
Yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah, they're pretty slick, but
Yeah,
I am an Irishman.
You're welcome.
Down home. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. I'll have to get you something Irish now, yeah?
Yeah.
$29 you spent on them?
They're
Slayer. First strike. Gain the lead. Gain the lead. Gain the lead. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Gained the lead. 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 Sniper spree. Killing spree.